For week number 1 to number 4, the first month, we focus on the general adaptation. So it's more like we perform some circuit training, and you can see the training exercise with a small feet that we perform with power bed is a weight bed, and the movement of the exercise with a small M is we perform it with a medicine ball. So we perform all these trainings on the field. So there's no reason that we to say because we don't have a fitness room, and that's why we don't perform any strengthening, any fitness training. You can actually do all these on the field with some little equipment or body weight or some rubber band and things. So in the second month, we're more focused on the strength training, and in the third month, we develop the power. Remember in this morning, we talked about the parametric training. So actually, we don't start the parametric training right at the beginning. Normally, we have some general adaptation and then some strength training period, and after that, we do the parametric and power things. So after 12 weeks of training, you can see the strength group include the vertical jump, the ball shooting velocity, and 30-meter sprint time, and the yo-yo intermittent endurance test. So you can see, even we perform the parametric or strength training, it improves the aerobic endurance performance, but it's nothing to do with the aerobic capacity. So the VO2 max maintain almost the same, but the performance in the yo-yo test increase a little bit in the strength group. So the second purpose of muscle strengthening is about the injury prevention. So let's look at this study. So in this study, they identify some factors that will increase the injury rate. For example, this one, the bilateral difference in force and power larger than 25% will increase the injury rate. So for example, like the soccer players, maybe their dominant leg will be stronger than the non-dominant leg, and if the difference is larger than 25%, will increase the injury risk. So and so on. Low adduction to abduction strength ratio will also increase the injury risk. So imagine if you have a very strong muscle here outside of hip, but have very weak muscle here, so it increase the injury rate. And that's why we have to strengthen the weak muscle to make it more balanced. So in this study, the author, the sports scientists, they try to look at the effect of shoulder injury prevention program in female overhead activity athletes. So overhead, anything like handball, volleyball, these are overhead activities. So in the strength group, they have the sports training 4 times a week, and they have extra strength training 4 times a week. So this strength training, external rotation at 90 degrees, sit-up row, scaption, chest press, and shoulder rotation. And then they do all these exercises, and each with 15 reps for 3 sets. And in the control group, they only perform the sports training 4 times a week. So they perform the sports training together, but in the strength group, they have extra shoulder injury prevention program. So as you can see here, both the group, they improve the concentric internal loading. The concentric internal loading is about the muscle around here, so you contract in the forward direction. And the eccentric external loading is about the back muscle, which help you when you are doing the forward movement. So it helps you to pull back the shoulder, the hand a little bit. That's the eccentric thing. And you can see in the experimental group, they increase the concentric internal loading, and also they increase the eccentric external loading. And at the same time, they increase the ratio. So this ratio is, the larger this ratio, the more safe that you can perform like the throwing movement. But you can see in the control group, in the control group, they can improve the concentric internal loading, and they can improve the eccentric external loading, but you can see the ratio is dropping, it's decreasing, which means they actually there's an increasing injury risk at the control group, but it's doing pretty good in the strength group. So we can see there's not compromising if you add injury prevention program into your sports program. So it's not saying that if you add an injury prevention program, the performance will go down. You can do in the parallel up, like we have an injury prevention program, and at the same time we increase the sport performance. So it is not compromising, but they are helping each other. And so the next question will be how to incorporate all these muscle strengthening into the team training. So first of all, we have to think about what to include in the what is important to the team. First of all, we have as a coach, you need to perform the needs analysis to think about what is important for the team. So at the team level, you have to think about like the playing styles. Is the team playing very physical or the team playing very technical? And you also have to think about the tactics. So how you want the game to play, like in a very fast beat, boom, 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 or in a very slow pace, bam, 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 bam. So it's completely different. And at the individual level, so you have to think about like different positional requirements. For example, in soccer, obviously the training program for the goalkeeper, for the center back, for the midfielder will be completely different. Like what Barry said in the previous presentation, we have position-specific training, and that's the idea that we have to think about. And for example, in basketball, like the point guard, they dribble a lot, but the center player, they jump a lot for the rebound, for the block shot. So obviously they have different kind of muscle strengthening. And you also have to think about what muscle group is involved in the sports. Obviously, if you're a soccer player, you'll be more focused on the lower body, and some percent of the training time you spend on the upper body. But for basketball player or for volleyball player, you may be more focused on the upper body. So you have to think about what major muscle are involved in the sports. So as a coach, you are very important. And the next one will be you have to think about or you observe what is the imbalanced muscle. For example, like the handball player, your dominant hand usually are stronger than the non-dominant hand. So the left-right imbalance. And like volleyball players, usually the front muscle is very strong and the back muscle a little bit weak. So you have front and back imbalance. And like I said before, the soccer players, they have very strong muscle outside of it, but very weak muscle inside the joint. So it's a medial-lateral imbalance. So as a coach, you have to think about also the movement. What kind of movement, in which direction is it? Forward, backward, or more lateral, or is multi-dimensional? And think about the plane is on the sagittal plane, or on the frontal plane, and also the movement speed. So is the movement in the sport, you have to do it. You have to do it as fast as you can, or you do it in a moderate speed, but you more focus on the accuracy of the foot placement or the ball placement. And of course, you have to think about the injury history of the individual athlete. Like if he has some ankle sprain or injured shoulder, so you have to think all this before you do the muscle strengthening. And when we're going to do the muscle strengthening, usually we do it after the technical and tactical sections. For example, in single training sections, in the first 30 minutes we do the technical thing. In the second 30 minutes we do the tactical things. And in the last 1 hour we do the muscle strengthening. And the reason why we have this kind of arrangement because performing the muscle strengthening before the other training will affect the motor control. And this is in agreement with what Barry said in the previous presentation. So they in the is it Liverpool football club? Like they do the technical and tactical section in the morning, and then they do the strength training in the afternoon. So it's in the same idea. And where? So always remember We can do the muscle strengthening in the fitness room, and we can do it on the field with some little equipment. The major idea or the importance of the coach is to think about how these players, the athlete, can be trained on the field or in the fitness room. And who is going to take in charge of the muscle strengthening? If you can find a certified strength and conditioning specialist, that's the best way. And in US, they have NSCA. In England, they have UK Strength and Conditioning Association. And in Australia, they have the ASCA. They do pretty much similar works, and they issue certificates. And what if we can't find all these certified specialists? For some sports coach with certain amount of sports science knowledge, sometimes they can do the muscle strengthening pretty well. Yeah, that's about the presentation. So, Sam, if you have any questions, raise your hand.